You are listening to AVIAPRENEURS podcast. This is Adnan Branbo. Good morning from Dubai. If you ask me, what are the reliable sources for getting news and information online? Then definitely 50 Sky Shades will be high on the list. It's one of the best. And we are very lucky and fortunate today that Ms. Tatjana Obrazcova herself, the managing partner and the founder of 50 Sky Shades, is with us today on AVIAPRENEURS podcast. Good day, Tatjana. How are you?
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I know I'm finding things. It's a pleasure to be with you and to find out that we are one of the best.
You are really like that. Tatjana is from Strasbourg, France. Donc,
Yes.
ça va? Comment allez-vous?
On va très bien. On a eu une journée exceptionnelle hier. So everything is just fine.
The weather is nice, il fait beau.
No, il fait pas beau, alors il fait moche, il fait gris, mais on espère.
Perfect. So before going to the discussion, I'm gonna give a brief overview of Tatjana. She's having a professional experience of more than 20 years, half of this experience in the aviation industry. Tatjana was the managing director of a business jet aviation operator, of an air ambulance operator. She's an aviation marketing expert. She also worked for sales and marketing for an aviation service organization in our friends in Flight Consulting Group. She's also a big advocate of the business aviation industry, and she sees every opportunity to advocate this industry before policymakers and before governments. Thank you, Tatjana, for joining me today.
Thank you. My
So
pleasure.
as a woman, was it easy for you to climb the corporate ladder and to reach and take charge of that high positions in the business aviation industry?
To answer your question, I had to start from the very long time ago because I'm French since a very long time, but I was born in Soviet Union. And I was raised with Soviet sport on a very high level. And when I was 4, my coach told me, "You're the first one, or nobody needs you." So it's not about getting easy things. And to be honest, in my professional life, I had so many things. I was working with car manufacturers. I was director of Real Man Football Club for 5 years. So nothing was easy, but I don't care.
So you manage a football club of men?
Yes, I was managing for 5 years the best football club in Latvia. They were champions for during 19 years in a row. I had no clue where I got in, but then I have a very bad temper, and when people are trying to kick me off, it's not so easy for them. So
Absolutely.
To be honest, I don't care. There is a goal. There is a way to go. I'm not killing people doing my way, but let's say I won't be the person who will tell, "Oh my God, it's too complicated. It's not easy. I'm not going there."
But
You're dreaming, you're going.
yes,
It's easy.
I agree. But from your experience, the aviation industry, is it just unfair to women? I mean, it's other than cabin and crew, it's a male-dominated industry.
It's totally man-dominated industry. I agree with you. But again, it's us who need to do something to change it. And there are many ways to do that. So, of course, it's far from easy. But I mean, keep smiling, keep doing, and you're going to get there.
Yes, right.
It's just the point of view. And, people can tell it's not for you, it's a male industry, please. I've heard many things. But I mean, if this is exactly what I want to do, why should I listen to someone who will tell you're a woman, don't get there?
Correct. So your previous uprising and your previous professional experience served you and helped you well when you joined the aviation industry.
Exactly, because I know that very few things are easy, and you have to work hard, and you have to persist in what you're doing if you want to get a result. That's everywhere, every industry. So it's up to you. If you want to quit, you quit. If you want to go on, you go on.
So this has nothing to do with the industry. The industry is always neutral to the joiners and to the members. It's up to the members themselves to prove themselves or not.
Exactly, but it's each person is different. The capacity of each and every individual to resist is quite different. So that's quite obvious that one will react one way, another will do and quit or choose another way, a little bit easier or something. So it's only your decision how exactly you want to play. Of course, there are many, it's not only me who's deciding what and how is going on, but the capacity to adapt to the situation and to find a solution. There is a simple saying: if you want to find a solution, you will find it. But if you want to find some explanation why you can't do that, it's even easier. You can find a dozen of them. So you can always do that.
Yes, they say that if you want to solve a problem, you can solve it. And if you don't want to solve it, then you can always find an excuse. Yes, I like your perspective. I like how you look at things. Going back to your career, you were managing a business aviation operator before, and you were managing also an air ambulance medical evacuation operator. Both of them are part of the general aviation industry category of the aviation. What are the differences? What's your experience? Which one is easier to manage? What are the specific characteristics, for example, of the air ambulance operators, which make them different from the rest of the general aviation industry?
You see, medical evacuation and air ambulance, for me, it's my personal opinion. It's much harder for me. It's my opinion. It's emotional, because each and every time it's very emotional, and there were cases when you can't not to be involved, and you're trying to follow the development. And so some of them are with the happy end. Some are very difficult to live because there is no happy end possible even. So for me, it was clear that I'm not gonna be capable to live with it for a long time, because I'm taking my job home. And this is something, I didn't want it to go further with that. But every time I can, I always explain to everyone that please remember, business aviation is not just some rich guys as they see that flying on a golden business jet. Please remember, each and every day there are lives saved by business aviation. And this is something not so many people remember, and not so many people are even talking about that. But this is something which happens each and every day, everywhere in the world. So really, it's amazing the job which is done by pilots, how many of them are doing charity flights. It's just amazing, big, very important part of business aviation. So it's totally apart from me. And for me, it was really complicated, the emotional part. I was taking every call as my personal emergency situation, and I was following the and doing the best. But sometimes there were no decision and no solution, and this is something that makes you feel so bad.
I can imagine. It's not easy at all, definitely.
So as I'm not a doctor, I decided that I should preserve my family and my emotional part and move forward with something different.
Very interesting. We look forward to listening to what is the difference very soon. But you just mentioned while talking about the importance of general aviation and that business aviation is not only about luxury and rich people flying. It's well known that you are a big believer in the business aviation industry.
Yes.
And there were so many opportunities where you really advocated the business aviation industry before governments, before the European Parliament, for example. So, and COVID-19 actually has proved your point of view and your belief that business aviation is actually essential. When the whole world stopped, the scheduled airline industry stopped, business aviation industry, besides the cargo industry as well, is what kept the world moving. So what's your view about the business aviation industry? What are the efforts you are doing in this regard?
I mean, I would love to do much more, but thanks for telling about that brilliant event we had in European Parliament. It was quite interesting to fight for business aviation so close to home, which is not usually happening. But the point was together. It was organized by European Business Aviation Association. Some manufacturers were there, and the point was to show and explain to guys taking decision what is business aviation, how many jobs and what different kind of jobs it brings to regions where nothing else is possibly growing, and how important is to change the image many people have of business aviation. And we were trying to show them, this is dispatch, what the dispatch guy is doing. This is flying doctors. This is this. But unfortunately, political guys, they need much more efforts from our side, from industry side, because they are too busy. They are not reacting. They are not even listening to you. But the point is that truly, it's a huge opportunity for the development of the economy in regions, places where nothing is. There is nothing, no big enterprises, nothing. And you need to reach this region. So business aviation, joining regions with helicopters. Nobody talks about that much, but luckily, this is the time when the pandemic gave something, it's a positive result. They truly start to see that business aviation, due to the complexity of all commercial operations, people, number of passengers flying, all the operations are much easier, adaptable to the pandemic situation. If it's a business aviation, again, it can be just a small aircraft with 4 passengers flying from point A to B. And it doesn't matter that it's a king of the universe flying somewhere, because I truly believe that people did not get yet the importance of 2 regional airports being able to assure that it's a destination, it's a new route.
Absolutely.
So with everything happening now, we are living at just crazy times when the speed of development it's amazing, with all new electric aircraft, hydrogen aircraft coming. You have to explain people, you have to explain passengers what will be the technology, how it will change, because if they're afraid, they will not fly and operators will suffer. And so it's a huge thing and huge job to be done to explain to all the, let's say, regulators, political guys, the importance and the potential of business aviation. It will bring money to whole regions which are suffering now, and they have to get money from each country governments and so on. But with business aviation, they can live. They can have a perspective of the development. They have new jobs, tourists coming, and so on and so on. So every time I can, I scream, I do whatever possible to tell people it's not about that. Understand that it's a huge, important part of aviation, and people are mostly working 24/7 with a fantastic quality of the job. Please listen sometimes and understand the importance of that part of the aviation. So I'm doing my best. Let's say.
You're doing great job. Well, I can add something, like if we look at the number of business aviation aircraft around the world and compare it to the number of private jet aircraft used by celebrities, it's very minimal. I mean, the maximum number of aircraft is used by people nobody knows, by corporates, by non-governmental organization. It's a corporate tool. It's a tool to achieve productivity, confidentiality of traveling, privacy, extension of the office to the air. So it's not just for luxury and for showing off. It's nothing about that. It's very, 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 very minimal way
we have to explain more and more and again, because sometimes social media are giving the opportunity to do good things, but unfortunately, sometimes it keeps going with the image of private party, and this is the the impact of such posts. It doesn't help the industry, but I totally agree. It's not about just VIP and so on. It's time saving, it's life saving, and it's just, let's talk about all the healthy measures. You're safe. You're not going through the airport with all the number of people, PCR test, masks, who is doing what, and so on. So the safest way, yes, business aviation. And again, it's not about the cost of the flight, which is just crazy. Nothing at all. The business class flyers, now they know that there is a business aviation flight, sometimes, but for much less money than they could imagine, with a safety and health measures. It's just amazing. So I believe that all guys who had the courage to try, or they had no other choice during pandemic, I hardly see them going back to business class, because the quality of service they got, they will never forget that. It's easy.
I can imagine. So let's go back to the next phase of your life after managing the air ambulance operator, the phase which you just highlighted, 50 Sky Shades. You established this business and this news website 7 years ago in 2015. What an interesting name. How did you come up with this name, 50 Sky Shades?
When I got your questions, I was thinking and I was trying to remember how. I know exactly where. This I know for sure. I know that the brilliant person, a colleague from industry, I guess he's living now in Dubai.
Really?
Yes, he's originally from Russia. He was SATCOM director for Russia and all the ex-Soviet Union. But the last time I saw him, he was at Dubai Air Show, coming up with, you didn't know, but now I'm living here. So he's somewhere there. But I know that we were participating in a conference in Tallinn, in Estonia. And I told him that I will do something and I will start my own company. He was not very optimistic. He told me that, anyway, you are a crazy one, so do whatever. What will be the name, he told me. And by then I knew it. I was, trying, when you're walking around with an idea and then it comes. So I just wrote the name on a paper, on an old. And it was a moment when it was quite silent. I think one presentation was just ended. So it was in between. And he screamed, of course, what else you could do? That was the first reaction I had. But for me, it's quite easy. I'm really addicted to aviation. When I see aircraft in the sky, I'm always looking. All four of my daughters are telling, Mom, could you please stop looking at the airplane? I mean, you know them. That's enough, but I can't. And each time you look, skies are never the same. And there are so many shades of every color. So it was quite obvious.
So you always were fond of the aviation industry even before you worked for it?
I have to confess, I still am a little bit afraid of flying. So I had to know how it works. First, I started a TV show, Flight Plan. So I was wondering, and maybe back then I was more than interested to explain to passengers how it works, what it takes to take an airplane, what is behind, what job is done before someone is taking the seat on the airplane and is flying somewhere. And when I started that, my mom told me, what exactly are you doing in aviation? And then I told, yes, that's a quite nice question. Both of my grandfather were military pilots.
Wow, impressive.
Mom, as a nuclear physics, then she ended up teaching aviation basic information. So I told, yes, what exactly I'm doing there? As I'm not technical one, I found my way to be in aviation. Let's take it like that.
It's very useful way.
There are reasons why I'm looking at the sky, and pilots, I think they are lucky people. They have each and every time they're flying, the office view is just amazing.
Looking at your eyes while speaking, I can see the passion. It's a big passion. It's deep inside.
Yes, but I can tell you, it's like, it's like a car. When you hear the engine, you love it or not. There is very few things in between. Yes, I think that aviation is just an amazing industry, and I didn't see much people who are truly in love with aviation quitting this industry. I saw some people, were newcomers, stuff like, okay, I will try, I will join, but if it's not the passion, they're quitting pretty fast. 1 year and they're gone.
Quite true. Quite true. Let's go back to 50 Sky Shades. So it's an aviation news website. But at the same time, the internet is full of aviation news websites. We see new one every now and then. So how is yours different?
Again, hard to tell I'm the best. I avoid to tell that. When I started this, I was thinking like a marketing person, creating a tool for communication. So it's my personal point of view. Then obviously 7 years, it's not so long, and there are huge monsters on the market. Nobody was waiting for me, Juniors one, to come. You're adapting, you're seeing what exactly is working. Very soon we created first app of the platform and then a second one, because we knew exactly what we did wrong with the first one, what needs to be adapted to the market, what people are asking for. So why we are different? Because it's just our point of view, and we're sharing our impression of the aviation industry. Trying to stay out of all political questions, because I believe that aviation industry is something really great, and it shouldn't be disturbed with political issues. Sometimes it's really hard, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best not to go too far on, let's say, cargo. They have amazing cargo news. So sometimes when clients want me to publish something and it's essential for them, and especially with long-term clients, of course I will do that. But I'm not going too far on a place where there are amazing professionals, and I'm not gonna change completely the content or our point of view. So, you know, you're seeing what goes, how it goes, what exactly your public asks you to do. So we're different. And I think that, you know, it's like you will tell me why Ferrari is better than Bugatti.
Different. There
is a place for everyone. You know, it's emotional. It's very personal. One person will like to read aviation news like that. Another one prefers to go a different way. So it's the freedom of choosing how. I am really happy that our public, our audience is growing, and I see people writing some feedbacks. This is something I just love. Sometimes I'm not, I don't agree with everything, but the point that they're reaching out, that means that I'm not doing that just, you know, in my imagination. There are real people behind. There are real feedback. There are real clients. We're walking this way for a long time. That makes me happy.
I'm very happy as well if you are. So what about the money here? What about the money? Information and the news are almost free these days. You can Google anything you want, you get whatever you want.
Of course.
So in light of this ease of access to information, how can you monetize an aviation news website?
Easy. It's 2 points. Of course, it's an advertising. So this is the first point, but not the biggest, because to be honest, we are, I would say, like we're working like a marketing office for some companies.
Mm-hmm.
Starting
so
from
you have consulting besides news.
Yes. And it was since the very beginning. And I still have very few, but very long-term clients in business aviation, people who told, we don't care what is the name of the company, you still can do that, so why should we change?
Agree. Agree.
So this is only 3 parts of money making. I'm still very far from my first $1 million because I would love to have a small private airport to develop. But, you know, if you don't make something, you don't risk to have it.
If you
and you have to earn dollar by dollar, euro per euro.
To be there.
Yes.
But
because if not, you don't risk, you know, it's like people, oh, I never won in lottery. Did you get a ticket? No, because I don't believe, but I never got something. It's quite interesting. You never bought a ticket and you're expecting. I mean, come on, get a ticket.
I'm sure if you have the wish, if you have the desire and the will, I'm sure you're going to be there. So before we close, I want you to share with all the listeners and the people who are watching AVIAPRENEURS podcast with us today, what is your advice to the men and women aviapreneurs all over the world about starting their own business, about having their voice heard all over the world, defending what they believe in like you do?
It's quite easy. Go there. If you have a dream, you have to the first step is never easy. But there are few things what are easy in this life, and maybe that's not the most interesting. No one will guarantee that it's going to be easy. Everything will happen like exactly like you imagine in your head. Most probably not. But the trip is worth to make this first step, and just be sure that if you want it, you will get it. Believe me, there were so many people who told me that I will never get there. And I still see these people in industry. The fact is that I did something. I know exactly how I want to improve and what I need to do. So I'm just going, and I'm keep going my road. Nothing is easy. But when you realize step by step and you're getting closer to what you wanted, the pleasure, it's just amazing.
Nothing else equal that pleasure.
Yes, exactly.
Merci, Tatjana. I'm very pleased to talk to you today.
C'était un plaisir, vraiment.
Thank you very much, and I wish you a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day back in Dubai.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the aviapreneurs who joined us today from all over the world. I hope you liked, and I'm sure you benefited from this discussion we had with Tatjana. Do not forget to go and watch all the previous episodes we have. You can find it on our website, on all our social media channels, and all the digital podcasting platforms. Please, if you like what we do, go ahead and share these episodes with your network. The benefit of this information will grow if we share it together. And I look forward to seeing more aviapreneurs from all over the world starting in new enterprises and aviation businesses to make the aviation industry and the whole world a better place. See you next week. Have a great day.